Hey guys, it's Clicks here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make smooth Minecraft videos by showing you some advanced OBS and Vegas Pro settings. Now, before the video begins, I just want to say that there are timestamps in the description for each part of the video if you guys just want to skip ahead. On another note, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you do like these kinds of videos, it would help me out if you turn that red subscribe button grey and like the video. That being said, let's hop over to OBS. Alright guys, so you can see that we're in OBS right now, and I'm going to be showing you my settings, and assuming that you already know how to record in OBS. If you don't, I'll leave a tutorial in the description down below. And anyway, let's just right into the settings. So in this control, under controls right here, under streaming, recording, virtual camera, studio, right here is the settings tab. All you guys want to do is just click that and it will open up this pop-up here. So pretty much in general, you don't need to change anything, and we're not going to be showing you how to stream, so you can leave stream away too. Now output is where you first want to do things. You want to make sure the output mode is set to advanced, and then head over to the recording tab over here. Now in the recording path, you can choose where you want to set your videos. Personally, I have mine in my D drive in /videos. Recording format, make sure this is MP4. And for the encoder, there are a few things. If you have a NVIDIA graphics card like me, make sure you hit NVIDIA NVENC H264 new. It's slightly better than the older version, and it's pretty good. If you don't have a graphics card or don't have a NVIDIA graphics card, then I recommend using X264, which uses your CPU's power. For rescaled output, we don't need to change that. We'll get onto this later. Make sure it's just set to your monitor's output. Now, rate control for you, this will most likely be CBR. But what you can do is you can change it to CQP and change your CQP level. So if you have a pretty beefy computer like me, set your CQP level to 15. If you have a mid-range, set to around 20. And if you have a bit of a low end, set to around 25. Don't go under 15. I recommend 15 is just right. You don't really need to go overboard. Now for keyframe intervals, make sure you set this to 0. Preset, make sure that's max performance. And profile, set that to high. Uncheck both these boxes and set your GPU and max B frames to 0, and that you should be done with the output tab. And with audio, make sure your sample rate is 48 kilohertz. Channel stereo, so can come through both things. People have speakers or they have headphones. For desktop audio, just set this to your speakers or your headphones, whatever. For this, set to your microphone. For me, I'm using RTX Voice right now, so you can use that. Have the rest of these disabled because you don't really need them. And for meters, hit is fast, sample peak, monitoring device default, and make sure you tick disable Windows audio ducking. For the hotkeys, you can put on hotkeys if you want. Personally, I don't use any, so that should be right for the audio tab. Now in video, this is where the main things happen. This is how we're going to get our motion blur effect. So for the base canvas resolution, make sure you set this as your monitor's display. Mine's 1080p, so I set it as 1920 by 1080. If you have, say, a 720p monitor, it would be 1280 by 720. And make sure the aspect ratio is 16 by 9. For output scaled resolution, this depends. If you have not such a great computer, I'd recommend even if your monitor is 1080p, I'd recommend your scale resolution to be 1280 by 720. But with me, I have a pretty good computer, so I can set this as my canvas resolution, again 1920 by 1080. Now right here, it should say common FPS values. You want to hit this drop down. I can't because I'm recording, and you want to select fractional FPS value. For the denominator, set that as 1, so this becomes a whole number. And for the numerator, you want to set this depending on how much FPS you get in game. For example, if you're only getting 120 FPS, then I recommend setting this to like 120. Anything lower than that, you really won't get a motion blur effect, so make sure that you do have a good enough computer to do this. So for mine, I can run my game around 300, 400 FPS when I'm recording, more like 300. So I just set this to 240 FPS. And that's pretty good, honestly. I tried 360, there's some stuttering and all that. So honestly, keep it at 240, you'll be fine. I forgot to mention down in the video tab, you want to set your downscale filter to bilinear. It may say faster but blur of scaling, don't worry about that, because we're not going to be scaling in OBS, we're going to do that in with something else. Now for hotkeys, you can set these if you want. I used to have start recording, stop recording hotkeys. I honestly don't use them anymore, because I can just cut it out. And for advanced, now for renderer, direct 3D 11, so that's DirectX 11. Color format, NV12, and color space 601, color range partial. This will make your colors a bit duller, but you can increase these in Vegas. Honestly, I don't, they look fine for me. So all you need to do now is hit apply and then OK, and then you should be done for OBS, so you can record your clips now. Now for my editing software, I use Sony Vegas Pro 17, and all you really want to do in this is open up a new file just by hitting this button. And there are a few things we want to set up. First of all, properties. Copy this down, make sure these are what your video was outputted to. Field order none, pixel aspect ratio 1, and HDR off, all these off, 360 off. Stereoscopic 3D mode off, and for the frame rate, set that to 120, which is the max that you can actually get in Vegas. And when you put your clip in, it will reset to the FPS that you recorded in. Use the format 8-bit, and just copy the rest of these like I did. So for motion blur, box, and for resample mode, just set this as smart resample. This is how you're going to get your motion blur effect, and it looks pretty good, honestly. Just set this wherever you want your files to go to, and that should be right. And you can hit start all projects with these settings, and yeah. So you're gonna import your clip. I just have some random clip here, so I'm just gonna select that, and you're gonna bring it into Vegas. You guys can see 240 FPS, which is where I recorded this in, and it's very short, this one. But as you guys can see, there is a problem. The FPS is dropping and it is lagging a lot. Now you may be wondering how to fix this, and so was I. And it's pretty simple, honestly. What you're going to want to do is you're going to head over to this button here, which is render as, and it should come up with this menu here. Now under here there'll be a bunch of different formats right here, but I use Magic's AVC/AAC MP4. And what you're going to do here is you're not going to use any of these, but you're going to create your own here. So you can create a new template, and I'm just going to customize mine. So you guys can see frame sizes, HD 1080, so this is just what you recorded as. And so take this, and you can copy my settings here. Frame rate 59.940. That's just going to be pretty much 60 FPS. It's fine. Profile, set that to high. Field order none. Again, pixel aspect ratio the same as our property settings. Now you're going to hit variable bitrate, and then 240 million for both of these. Now encoder mode, NV encoder, preset default, and RC mode VBR. And that should be good for video. Audio, just set this to what you record your audio as. Bitrate, set it as 192,000. For system, just set this as I have it here. And for project, use best, project setting is default, and then that should be good here. Now you can save this as your own template, so when you're up here, just name it and hit this little save icon, and every time you want to render, make sure you select this. Now make sure you don't do any edits before this, because it's going to be really laggy to edit. And all you need to do is just drag in your unedited clip and render it as its own clip. And you guys can see I'm going to open up a already rendered clip right here, and I'll show you guys an example of some motion blur. So this is some random skyblock clip I have, and if you guys can see right over here, so you guys can see only for a short second, it's a very small clip. You guys can see that little motion blur there, and this will be present throughout the entire video. And you guys can even see on the mouse right here, it is moving very smoothly, and that's because we've compressed it down to 60 FPS using Smart Resample to give that nice motion blur effect. Now, once you've imported the rendered version, you can just edit this and then render it again as the same way you did before. And that's it for Vegas settings. So there you guys have it. That's how I make my Minecraft videos look smooth and clean. I hope this helped you guys make better content, as it certainly did for me. Now you guys may be wondering how I got all these settings, and I used this really cool Discord server. Yeah, these guys can help you with any problems you have, and there'll be a link in the description. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.